opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of the station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.
You are watching Lit Happens, Saskatchewan's showcase of the literary talent of the province. I've been really excited about today's episode. We have a best-selling author here with us, Valerie Simonson. Valerie, welcome to the show. It's just great having you here. I have so many questions about your book, Orange Socks. There's a lot of information we need to get through today, but first, tell us a little bit about yourself, your life, and what led to you becoming an author.
Well, quite simply, I didn't know how to write. It wasn't ever anything I thought I would be doing, writing a book. I failed in grammar in school.
Really?
Not failed. She just said if I had any thoughts of writing, to throw those out. That was about grade 5. But I had a desire to tell a story after I'd done some traveling. But basically, I was born here in Saskatoon. I went to university at the University of Saskatchewan.
Right.
Took commerce degree. Ended up there wasn't any work in Saskatchewan at the time. I left. I was also a volleyball player with the University of Saskatchewan, and I actually majored in volleyball and minored in commerce.
Really?
I'm not quite sure how I got through
That's
school.
eclectic.
But I ended up moving to Alberta in search of work. So I chose Calgary, which was booming in the oil business. It was 1977, and I was very excited. I had a big chip on my shoulder. I'm a commerce grad. I'm valuable. As soon as I got there, I found out that they said, actually, you're quite useless to us until you've had some on-the-job training, because you just book knowledge, right?
Right.
So that was a good humility check for me, and then I began to realize I had a lot to learn. Yeah. And so I've been there ever since. It's almost 30 years in Calgary.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you made some radical life changes at one point in time, which led to you becoming an author. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was working in the investor relations, annual reports to shareholders, corporate communications, living very much a jet-setter life with the big oil companies, flying around New York. I mean, hitting the Big Apple as a Saskatoon girl was pretty exciting.
Yes, I can imagine.
But what happened was a very fast-track life, and I became very out of balance, and my health suffered immensely. And so with a case of severe hypoglycemia, I had to give up my job, basically, to keep to find a way to get well. So that was definitely a crisis situation. And so I actually started my own consulting business so I could work less and heal more. And after 5 years of doing that, I found I wasn't actually getting very well because I'm a high achiever. Yes. And I would just transfer all of those patterns into the consulting business. So in 1989, I decided to take a personal development course called Personal Best, and it pushed me to actually helped me to climb to some new highs, to face some things that weren't going properly in my life, and to realize that it was time for a change. But just before that, I ended up taking, I was desperate. I was like the high heels, the Chanel suits, and I went to see a psychic.
Wow.
That was desperation, because I thought, I need some answers. How did I get this way, and where am I going? So in seeing this fellow, his name was Troy Leonard, and I thought, with a voice like he had, he must be a charlatan, just a soft voice guy. I thought he's going to charge me $120 to do what? But what I realized was at the end of that session, some new doors were opening in my mind. He offered me the chance to do a course he was offering. I thought, oh yeah, take more of my money. But what happened after that was that it was a sound, color, and vibration class, weird sounding stuff to a corporate type like myself. But I discovered there that whatever color I detested was a color I had to look at some qualities. Each color has qualities.
Wow.
And so I hated orange, I hated purple, but I really hated orange.
Yeah.
And he said, well, look it up. And it meant change and courage to change and to cut through procrastination.
Wow.
And worse yet, he said, you have to wear the color for 1 week and see what comes up. So I thought, I'm not wearing that ugly color. I was way too conscious. What would people say? So I thought, I'll wear socks. No one would ever see socks.
Right.
Wrong. When you walk around with these socks on, all I could see with peripheral vision was that my feet were wearing these ugly socks. So they actually propelled me forward. They made me walk into some newness. And then after taking the personal best course, that was when I decided. One of the goal setting in there was, what's your dream? And my dream was to travel and to get well.
Wow, fascinating. So you went through this personal journey and then you wrote a book about it.
I did.
Yes, which is that's a whole other chapter in itself of your life.
Yeah, it's like a past life in this life.
Yes, and actually I remember way back in, I think it was 1997,
Yeah.
when Orange Socks came out, when it was published, there was a lot of media attention towards it in Saskatchewan. Yes.
Saskatoon was great to their homegrown girl.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And so I need to ask you, what was society's reaction to your book? How did it go over? Did people embrace it?
I was surprised how much they embraced it, actually, because I thought, when I was first naming it, I thought, what kind of a name is that, Orange Socks? Nobody don't even know what it's about. But there was something that compelled people to look into it. I think that because there's an aspect of self-discovery, finding out why am I here, what's the meaning of my life. There was aspects of spirituality from the title, Orange Socks, how a yuppie goes yogi.
Yes,
what's
love
that? You know, and I think I wanted to put together the book because I felt I couldn't be the only suffering yuppie out there that needed to find a new vision on myself, the world I lived in, and how I could actually also make a more positive contribution to the world I lived in.
Wow.
By changing myself first.
Wow, fascinating. I think, did it become a national bestseller?
It did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes, it was. I was so grateful for
Yeah.
the chance to put that book into so many people's hands, because then
Yeah.
they could help themselves
Yes.
to live their dream, to
Yeah.
discover what's in
Yes.
them.
So you're almost like a guru for self-help and change.
Well, for the last 20 years, when I went traveling, I did learn to meditate. I needed to harness the energy of the mind instead of having it like a wild horse dragging me all over the place with fast thinking and negative thinking for the most part. There's positive thinking too, but I wanted some more balance. So I learned to meditate while I was in Bali.
Wow.
And I found a place called the Meditation Shop. And they taught me open-eyed meditation. The Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University was what it's called. Originated in India, where gurus, of course, that term, teacher, originated. And I've never looked back. It's been the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done for myself, and also to help others to learn to meditate, which is basically understanding how your mind works, understanding who you are in the deepest level, and to move into newness and to learn what pure thinking is, which is seeing the best in myself, what my intrinsic virtues are, and seeing that in others as well. What is their goodness? Don't focus on people's defects,
Yes.
because that grows. Whatever you focus on grows. I kept learning more and more, and I felt compelled to share that as well.
Wow, fascinating. Now we've thrown out a lot of really vital information. Let's throw out where can the book, I'd like to hold the book up actually while we talk about this. Where in the province can viewers find the book?
It's been sold at McNally Robinson. It's been sold through Indigo, through Amazon.com. So, and also my own email, because it's a self-published book. So if you can't find the book and would like to find the book, then it's eternalgiving@gmail.com.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
Eternalgiving@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know we're out of time, but I do want to thank you for being here today. This was just, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I think that this book has had a big life, and I think there's a lot of life left for it.
It's
And
going into its third printing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So phenomenal success. So, and you did fly into Saskatoon.
Yes, yes.
To film with us.
I
so-
did, and thank you to you and Saskatoon and to Shaw for giving me a chance to showcase Orange Socks and give it yet a new life.
Yes, yes. There's always new life.
Yes.
That is all the time we have today for Lit Happens. If you enjoyed today's segment, you can see previous episodes on the Shaw TV website or on my website, westfunk.ca, and you can connect with us online on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And I will see you next time on Lit Happens.